Hello everyone! Today we are getting into a new topic called graphing quadratics in intercept form. So last time we already learned about graphing in standard form, but now this is another form that we may see our quadratic functions. And this should look really familiar. It looks like our factored form. So when we factored in one of our other units, we were really putting our quadratic into intercept form. And so from this intercept form, which is y equals a times x minus p times x minus q, it gives us certain information about our function. So first of all, for these first two, a, it really always just means the same thing with all of our functions. So if a is positive or bigger than 0, then the graph opens up. If a is less than 0, or in other words, if it's negative, then the graph opens down. And now, for this one, it's a little bit different from our standard form. From our standard form, we were able to see the y-intercept. It was 0, c, so it was that last number. Intercept form actually gives us our x-intercepts. And here we have 2. And so our x-intercepts are going to be p, 0 and q, 0. So whatever we are subtracting at the end here. Important thing to note is that your p and q are really going to be the opposite signs that you see in here. So if you see, this says minus p minus q, but our x-intercepts are actually the positive version of that. So let's look at an example of that. So let's say I had y equals 3 times x minus 1 and then x plus 5. It's really tempting to say that your p is -1 and your q is positive 5, but it's actually going to be the opposite of that. So your p will actually be 1, 0. So you see a -1 here, you're going to take the opposite sign of that. And then your q here is actually going to be -5. So you see a plus 5 there, but your q is actually going to be -5. So p and q. So p is equal to 1, q is equal to -5. And then from that p and q, we can find our axis symmetry and vertex. So your axis of symmetry is going to be x is equal to p plus q divided by 2. So looking at this same example, my axis symmetry would be p, which is 1, plus -5, which is q, divided by 2. Well, 1 minus 5 is -4. -4 divided by 2 is -2. And then for your vertex, your axis symmetry is going to be your first coordinate, because that's what your x is equal to. To find your y value, you're just going to plug in -2 into the function. So let's say, continuing on with this example, I would plug in -2 in for x. So instead of x minus 1, I'd have -2 minus 1, -2 plus 5. And so I have -3 and 3, so 3 times -3 is -27, or -9. -9 times 3 is equal to -27. And so my vertex for this one would have been -2, -27. But we'll go through many examples finding those x-intercepts, axis symmetry, and vertex in the following videos.